Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody is doing absolutely fantastically. Let me turn off my TV in the background. So I thought I would do this video because I've been feeling really strong in my divine feminine energy. Whatever that means to you, completely interpretable. And with that means that I'm sort of attracting, not even just attracting, I would say coming across a lot of people that are not in that same space. So I found myself naturally coaching them to get to that place. With that, they have manifested incredible results, and I thought it'd be really good for me to share a video on my own techniques, who I listen to, who I am inspired by, what works for me, my own routines, my thought processes, and how I regulate my emotions. We're going to start off with my journey. So I have had quite little confidence from my teens. When I compare myself to the girls that I used to hang around with, or like my old school friends, I feel like everybody kind of knew who they were a little bit more than me. I feel like I was sort of floating on the edge. I had an idea of who I thought I was, and I had an idea of what I liked, but I never really sort of stepped into that power properly. I could say maybe until I was about 24, 25. First things first, I'd say, is be patient with yourself, because it's still until you start putting in the work, figure out who that is, or who that may be, or what journey you may be on. You don't really know, and it can take a while. My mum has always been into self-help, self-expansion, spirituality, and my grandma has been as well. So I was sort of raised, I did go to church a little bit. I was sort of raised a little bit in the church, and I was raised with more of a spirituality element to it than the sort of religious aspects that made up the church. When my mum started getting quite deep into manifestation and the law of attraction, I started to rise a little bit too. So she started buying me books that were similar to my age range. So Chicken Soup for the Soul, just things that really opened up my mind to how massive to how incredibly huge this planet is, this universe is, this expansion is, to my relationship with Creator, with God, with the universe, etc. So I was able to sort of figure out what exactly I believed in, why I believed in it, and ask questions about things that I didn't necessarily understand. I can tell you that after all of those years of reading books, or half reading books because sometimes I don't finish them, watching YouTube videos, having a sense of thinking that I have a sense of self, only now at 28 years of age, not even just now, within the last 3 weeks, have I fully mastered being in my own zone and trusting my own instinct, and having such a high concept that things are literally falling out of the sky for me. When it comes to the law of attraction and manifestation, I have always believed that you have to put in some sort of action in order to get what you want, which is, we live in an action-based world. That makes sense. By raising my vibration, things have sort of fallen into my lap in ways that I didn't think were possible before. Watching countless videos on self-concept and reminding myself who I am, and not tying my belief system within my worthiness to men and to other people, I feel like I've sort of cracked the code. My intention with this video is to share as much information and as much of my experience as possible to help elevate people to the levels that they need to be in order to get the things that they want. All about practice. I don't feel like most things are completely and utterly straightforward. It takes practice. It can be very challenging. There are days when you're not going to feel like it, but you have to show up every day as yourself. I came across some videos, I'll probably leave them in the link below, of my favorite creators, of my favorite self-concept coaches, manifestation coaches, people that I understood what they were saying and how they were saying it. People who spoke in a way that helped me not just understand my self-concept, but helped me develop my self-concept, to think about, who am I, what do I want, where am I going, how deserving am I of myself. I then came across a video by Aaron on YouTube. I'll leave it below as well, because it was literally like a mic drop moment for me, where he spoke about worthiness, and it linked kind of a little bit to my experience with men, where I feel like I have to give an act of service in order to be worthy to receive a romantic gesture or to be desired, etc. So I felt like I'd always have to prove myself, and I felt that since I was about 16. 11 years of true sort of pick-me girl behaviour. If I do this, maybe he'll like me more. If I go here, maybe he'll message me. If I buy him this, maybe he'll believe that I'm somebody that is worthy because he'll give back. If I do this for him, maybe he'll take me on a date. Message him first, maybe he'll buy me flowers. If I do this, if I pick him up from work, then maybe he'll see that I'm just like, you know, the perfect sort of wifey material, not recognizing that I didn't have to do a damn thing in order to be worthy of all of the things that I wanted. The video that I'm referring to, he mentioned baby and asked members from the audience what the baby is worthy of. The point was that the baby was worthy of everything without being able to provide anything. So why do we tie ourselves to having to do something or give something or be something for somebody else in order to be worthy of anything that we've asked for? Girl, since that video, I have literally been on cloud nine. I have been feeling irresistible. I have been expressing myself in ways that I couldn't really before. Approached by lovely people, I'm being approached by like thirsty people. I'm just having experiences and interactions with people that like I'd never felt like I really had before. My sort of resting bitch face that I walk down the street with, I feel has kind of like eased up a little bit more and has allowed me to really sort of flourish into my self-confidence, my happiness, and just the fact that I'm here. Like, I feel like I've been on a train for years and years, and I've arrived at the station that is Kalia. That's a really good way of explaining it. Like, I've literally just arrived and I'm feeling fantastic. I'm looking fantastic. I've been fortunate enough to have some time off of work to work on this, and so I'm really excited to be able to go back to work and bring that energy with me, so that if I do start to feel a little bit stressed or I do start to feel a little bit down on board, I'm able to be like, you know what, like, I am amazing. So with that, when it comes to like my relationships with my family, they have soared. I'm seeing people more. I'm keeping in contact with people more. My communication is better. My anxiety has sort of like gone from maybe 70% down to like maybe 10%. I'm not worried about anything. Things that I'm finding a little bit challenging, or people would consider a challenging aspect to have in one's life, I'm just ignoring. And as I ignore them, they're being filled with answers, solutions. Mm-hmm. It's just all sort of falling into place. So I'm just not stressed. I'm not bothered. Men, I'm not bothered. I've been bothered by men for so long that I've finally got myself to a point where I'm really not bothered. I'm not bothered in a place where I'm not interested or I don't want to find a relationship. That's not the point. But like, I'm not completely bothered. I'm not feeling left out. I'm not feeling lonely. I'm not feeling undesirable. I'm not feeling like, you know, these are all words that are not really, I'm not trying to put into this video, but sort of negative connotations that they can sort of go over there because they've got nothing to do with me. I'm not feeling any of that. I'm just feeling myself. I'm feeling like enough myself. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like, you know, it'd be lovely to find somebody because I'm a proper lover girl, but I'm also like happy giving that lover girl energy to myself. So, and I feel like probably staying in the state that I'm in is when I probably will find somebody or come across somebody that's on the same level as me. Through my research of self-concept, I learned that there are 4 different types of self-concept: your public self, your self-concept, your actual or behavioral self, and your ideal self. So your public self is probably something that I was struggling with the most, which was how other people view you. So it's your view of yourself as defined by other people's public knowledge of you. So what people think they know about you and how that affects you. Now, what other people think they know about you, highlight that word think, is irrelevant. My public self was what I was on the top of my like radar, the top of the pyramid, what I thought people thought about me at work, what I thought people thought about me on Instagram, what I thought about men thought about me in public, what I thought about other girls thought about me. Like, I was just in this sense of like, I wonder what those people will think about me. And with that came like a desire to please. So I consistently felt myself in a space where I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be rude, or I don't want to not reply to this message, or I don't want to ignore this person in public because I don't want to live up to the stereotype, because I want to prove to people that I am somebody who is approachable, and I'm somebody who is kind, and I'm somebody who is open-minded, and I'm somebody that is willing to have intelligent conversation and willing. And then I thought to myself, where is that coming from? That is coming from a need to prove to other people that I'm something in order for them to accept me in a different way. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And I just started to think, right, if I don't want to talk to this person, I'm not going to talk to them. If I don't want to reply to a message on Instagram, I'm not going to reply because I just don't feel like it. And what that person thinks of me, I'm not in control of. And I don't need to be in control of. See, the key word is control. By letting go of that, I think that was the first part to me sort of like crumbling down that pyramid of what I thought I was meant to be. The second thing is my own self-concept, to who I believed I am, who I believed I was, and who I believe I am. I believe that I'm constantly evolving. I believe that I'm constantly growing and expanding into the woman that I was destined to be. So with that means that I'm just less sort of concerned of the outside constructs that create my own reality, and more concerned about who I am and what I represent for myself. What do I wake up every morning thinking about myself? I wake up every morning thinking I am just the best thing that has happened to this planet. I truly believe that, because why else would I be here? Out of the trillion souls that are on this planet, the trillions and trillions of souls that are from the past, that are from before, that are from coming into the future, I have been chosen. And I've not just been chosen to be here, but I've been chosen to encapsulate this body and this face. Are you joking? Yes! And you need to think the same way. So that is how I started the construction of my self-image. I just started to wake up every day and think about how I can satisfy myself within myself. Not how am I going to wake up and look for other people in the street, or the people in the gym, or the people on the plane, or the people that I'm working with. It's not about that. It's about, how do I feel within myself? How do I satisfy that sense of individuality, creativity, and just pure magic within myself? That's what I did. And yeah, everything changed. Everything changed for me. Third concept that I looked at was actual or behavioral self. So the self created through my actions and my habits. I have quite a few good habits, and I have quite a few questionable habits that can be improved on. So I looked at myself through the things that the methods and the routines that I have in order to create the person that I am, and decided to figure out what exactly it is that can keep me not only in this state, but in an expansion state. So like, I'm happy where I am now, but how can I expand? How can I grow? How can I move forwards? By evaluating and analyzing their habits, my behaviors, I was able to transform them a little bit more into behaviors that catered to myself as opposed to other people. I'm very, very close to my mum, and I do a lot for my mum and my sister. And so where I felt like I was doing a lot for them on a daily basis in order to keep things afloat and to keep things going in the correct direction, arguable, started to sort of step back a little bit and say, right, the time that I'm spending, the hours and hours that I'm spending doing these things for other people, that they don't necessarily require, I'm just doing out of the love that I have for them. I wonder if I can sort of half that time and pour more of that time into doing things that are credible and relevant to myself. For example, filming. For example, sorting out my wardrobe. For example, searching for a new flat. For example, going roller skating. For example, making my food prep. So I was kind of doing these things anyway, but I was allowing my behaviors that were catering to other people to sort of dismiss the things that I wanted to do for myself, because I wanted to be seen as a good sister, as a good daughter, as a good friend, as a good cousin, as a good person. And although I can still be seen as that, I just had to start prioritizing my behaviors and my habits in order to make myself successful. And then the last one is the self that you aspire to be. And this one's quite an interesting one. And I know that for some people, it's very hard to stay in a state of imagining that you are the person you want to be before you actually get there. Things that I want for myself in my life, things that have been slow, not even just slowly, that appearing instantly, have been from me sort of imagining that I am already that person. So my tooth is a little bit crooked, and so I want to fix that. So instead of trying to hide my tooth, I just sort of act like I've got the best teeth in the world all the time. Just got great teeth, even if people don't see that. Like, don't forget, I'm removing myself of what other people think of me, and I'm putting myself back into the state of what I think of myself. So with that means that I'm the only one that can see that my tooth in the mirror is that my tooth is a bit crooked, but I'm just going to pretend it's not crooked and just keep smiling. And then eventually I'll get my teeth done and it will work out for me. I'm not going to sit here every morning and say, oh, my tooth's crooked, because I'm putting the focus on the lack of what I want, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. Your ideal self is what you want to be. Whether you want to move out and have a high-rise apartment, whether you want to have a certain car, whether you want to have a certain dog, whether you want to have a certain person, whether you want to be somebody that travels a lot, whatever you want, whatever your idealized sort of self is, you need to show up as her every day. I know that I want certain things, and I've just started to show up as her, like, just regardless. Doesn't really, but nobody can really tell me anything. Nobody can really say, well, but you don't have that yet, because it's like, when you're so delusional about who you are, and you know that you have that because you know that's what you've asked for, and you know that you're deserving of that because you exist. Oh, mic drop. Who are you to tell me I don't have it? It's about being able to practice blocking those people, those comments, those feelings that are trying to overcome who you are and what you represent. It's about just, okay, you're not in my space. Also, it's about being able to practice who you share this information of your self-development with, because not everybody wants the best for you, and not everybody's going to understand. I don't necessarily speak to all of my friends about the same sort of things unless I feel like it's something that they want to know, or is something that I feel like they can grow from, because I don't want anybody trying, it's impossible to be honest, to knock me off of my high flying disc. I'm like this, up in the air. Look at my little finger rings up in the air. I'm just like happy to sort of come down a little bit to help people, and then to go back up to my high flying disc. But I'm not going to have somebody try and completely drag me off of that because of their own beliefs and their systems. I am a true believer in everybody is different, and things work for different people in different ways. I want to share this with you because my belief systems have transformed my realities in ways that I could not imagine. And I feel like if you're somebody who is open to learning and open to growing through these processes, that you will be able to do the same for yourself. How what you focus on is a massive factor in the things that actually come up in your life. You just need to be able just to let go of it. Just let go of it. I mean, a lot of people say let go and let God. It's within the same sort of realm if you're a religious person. And stay within that realm that you are loved, you are peace, you are courageous, you are successful, you are beautiful, you are divine, you're feminine, you're growing, you're expanding, you're creative, loved, you are loving, you are loved, you are loving, you are just amazing. And everything that you are worthy for and deserving for exists for you because you exist. Because you exist, because you're watching this video right now, because you exist, that is why whatever you've asked for, you're worthy of, you're deserving of. And when you start to take some of these things off of the pedestal, I've got so much information. When you start to take some of these things off of the pedestal and act like you are already deserving of them, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to grow anywhere. You just need to do things with inspired action. If you're inspired to do something, you're inspired to apply for a job, if you're inspired to go on a walk, if you're inspired to go into a certain shop, just do things with inspired action and stay in the state fulfilled, which is staying in a state of love, happiness, and then also growing and working on your self-concept. those are the three things that we need in order to succeed and in order to stay in a state of I am just amazing. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspired you. I hope you are going to put things in place in order to help grow your self-concept. If you've got any questions, and if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'm sending you so much love, light, peace, good vibes, and I hope to see you in my next one. Lots of love.